Hello everyone, Dan Hurd with Dan Hurd Prospecting here. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome. I am here with my hay banker at the Trout Creek mine, where a week ago I dug a new trench with a bobcat, and as I was digging the trench for future use, I came across some pay gravels that I couldn't pass up. I was actually planning to dig all the stuff from the trench and just use it for a berm and forget about the gold that was in it. But after a few test pans and some nice pieces of gold, I decided to take the stuff from down in there, in the bottom, and stockpile it. I figure I have about a yard of material here, and run that through the high banker. Sounds like a fun thing to do, and it had some nice gold in it. That's not really what I was going after, but I can't throw away that good a pay. And I had the bobcat here, it was easy digging. Really, what this trench was for is A, a tailings pond, but B, I need to get up in there, in that area. But the material that was down here just looked too good. So, today, one more run in the fall here before winter hit in full force. It was snowing up here, it was snowing actually on the way in here today. But one more run before winter hits of the stockpile material. Should be good. Wish me luck. Now I'm attempting to run the high banker at a very shallow angle today. The slope here is typically a lot more than that. I have maybe a 4-inch drop over that 6 feet. Not quite what I would normally run, but because I'm shoveling by myself, I'm going to be feeding it much slower than typical. And I figure a shallower slope will do me well here. I'll just make sure I still have lots of water to process properly. I'm also taking the opportunity to do a little bit more of a test of the Gold Owl mats in it. I have the top 3 feet of Gold Owl mats. It then goes into a foot of gold hog mat, which then drops onto expanded steel on top of miner's moss. Now I don't normally have this part in here, so I've had to actually just put this mat up on top of it. There's going to be a lot of material that builds up right there. It's not ideal, but it will definitely catch the gold if it gets through off the Gold Owl mats. I will pan out all 3 sections separately and see what the Gold Owl mats miss. If you'd like to get your own Gold Owl mats, contact Mark at Goldstream Plaster Supplies. He's a great guy to deal with. Here comes the water! Here comes the water! Definitely not steep enough. I will have to adjust that. And I have to make sure the water makes it back to the tailings pond, not down the road. I've got some adjustments to do quickly. So I've adjusted it so that the angle is right now and that the water is flowing into the tailings pond nicely. I can start shoveling. It looks a lot steeper than I wanted it, but maybe it's a bit of an optical delusion because of the angle, because I'm actually discharging uphill. The water in it is looking good. I like how it's flowing over the mats. I like that it pauses a little bit right here, sort of slows down, and then speeds up over the final section. So I like what it looks like. Might be at a level at the top a little bit. The bottom looks great. I'll adjust that. And my tailings pond's filling. I better start digging. Once the tailings pond gets full, I'll move the pump up here and just recirculate out of the pond. Now I figure this is about a yard of material. It's just my rough, dirty guess about how much is there. And I really want to see how long it takes me to shovel a yard of material through the high banker. So I'm going to time myself today. It is right now 9:41, and I am going to see how long it takes me to get through that pile. Okay, that's been a half hour. I'm just shutting it down now. Put a couple scoopfuls in here that are just going through. Gonna stop after half an hour, adjust things a little bit. I have one mat, I don't like the way it's running right there, so I'm gonna adjust that one. The top is running perfectly. I think I even saw a piece of gold in there earlier when I looked. The bottom is running perfectly. Just the middle, it slows down a bit too much and the material builds up right there. There's a bit of a wave that happens. So I'm gonna adjust the bottom and see if I can get rid of that. I also want to look in the box and see what kind of gold I have found in the first half hour. Might give me a good idea of what the day will hold. I made a bit of a dent in the pile. I'd say I've gone through, maybe a fifth of it. So probably 3 or 4 hours of digging to get it all. I see a piece of gold right there. Well, let's go shut down and see what it looks like. I'm noticing a little bit of water seeping through right now. So I'm going to relocate the pump to recirculate at this point. I knew right here would come through because around that rock was just big rocks and stuff. So I knew when it got to a certain height it would start leaking through. So I'm going to stop now and recirculate from the pump, from the pond. So I don't have too much of the seepage. I don't want to get back to the creek. Now let's see what there is for gold. I see one nice piece right there. Oh yeah, there's a bunch right in there. Let's flip this up and see. Oh yeah, oops. Quite a few more right there. Let's see if I can get this camera in. Everything's fogging up. Hopefully the lens isn't fogging up. Ah! Not fogged up. Okay, so we got some gold right there nicely. Some gold right there. Piece right there. A little giddy over there. We definitely have gold kicking around. Except for this one spot that's building up, I'd say everything else is working nicely. So I wonder if I don't worry about that one spot and just leave it, or if I drag this whole thing down so there's not a lump right there. This stuff here goes right up under to that point. That's what lifts it here, creating that dead spot right there. I think I'm okay. I don't see huge amounts of gold, but I won't know until I clean up. And I hope to run the whole day and clean up once at the end. So I've made a little trench just to keep any leakage from getting back to the river. Also, I see it stopped leaking, and the water's gone down 3 inches maybe. So that might be sort of the height I have to stay at for now. Also, holes like that often will plug themselves as they get debris washed into them. So it might be fine now. It may have plugged up, might not have seepage anymore. Or maybe when I start pumping again and the water level goes up, the pressure increases, it'll start again. I'll watch it very carefully. And as I said, all I need to do to completely fix this problem right now is put the intake of the pump into the tailings pond, recirculate, and I won't add any more water up here. And I will do, the next run I do, I'll do just very brief, and I will watch that. If it starts leaking, I'll stop and move the pump. I should note for people in BC who know the regulations, I am 10 meters from the river. I do have permits to do this, and I am making sure no water gets back to the river, following the regulations of BC here. So, 10:30. Here we go again, another half-hour run, and I might not get a half hour before. As soon as I see leakage, I'm gonna stop and move the pump. I lost my shovel! So, after 12 minutes, leakage has started again. I'm going to shut down and move that pump. Pump is now right there, stuck into the pond. It'll be closer, it'll be noisier, but oh well. At least I won't get seepage. So I've been running a pan underneath the output there, just catching everything. It's been spilling over, but you know, it gives me a good idea of what's making it through. And good news, there isn't a speck of gold in here. Not a tiniest little speck. So nothing is making it through the system. And I'll put this pan back underneath here. I just put the pan, I just put the pan right there. I usually put the classifier right on top of it. Just like that. And now anything that comes over, and that's including startup and shutdown, goes into here, then spills over, but it gives me a good idea, one good pan full of what's coming through the sluice. And as I said, there was nothing. I still have that one spot I don't like, but I'm leaving it right there. I get a funny wave starting. I get a wave here, and then a wave there, and then a wave here. And this wave and that wave I really like. They're working really well for me. This one is creating a really dead zone. Now, it might still be catching gold, it's just catching a lot of material. I always like to, after I've shut down, rough up behind each of these bigger riffles. Make sure that they haven't concreted and solidified. And that there's still room for stuff to move down in there. But I'm not worried about losing gold doing this. I know that even if I disturb some gold, it will get caught in the next riffle. There we go. We are ready to run again from the tailings pond. Seepage has already stopped. Well, I just had some friends stop by to say hi. They were up in the area hunting. So I shut down sort of mid-run. It's been almost exactly a half hour if you add the 12 minutes of the first part and, you know, the 15 of the second part. It's been almost another half hour. But unfortunately, shutting down with material still going through, you can't see anything. I will go, since I'm shut down, and check out the, I don't know, what do you want to call it? The inspection pan? The safety pan? The oops, I screwed up pan? And see if there's anything in it. I did notice when I shut down that time, it was quite out of level. It must be sinking into the mud. So, yeah, let's go see if we've lost anything. Tailings pond's dropping a lot when I'm just recirculating from it, so I might have to go back to the creek before long. Look at all the tailings that are sort of building up at the edge here, the delta I'm creating. Anyhow, if I hear a gunshot off in the distance, I'll know my friend's got a deer. I just sent them to a spot that I see deer all the time. Now, because there is no because, just because I want to. There, because I want to, I've decided I'm going to clean out the expanded steel section and the gold hog section. I'll leave the top section in place, but I want to see what's getting through the gold owl mats and getting caught below. And I'm just tired of shoveling for a little bit, so let's clean them out. It's been an hour of running so far. Let's see what's made it through. Here's the material from the miner's moss with expanded steel on top of it. You always get more, it just grabs more of that stuff. So I got, what, 1/3 of a pan there? And one bad thing about this stuff is it always grabs lots and lots and lots of black sand. So it's very hard to pan this stuff out. But let's see. So here it is from the miner's moss expanded steel. Now I haven't looked at it yet, but I would not be surprised if there is a bit of gold in here, because the hopper discharged its whole contents all at once twice and really overloaded the box. So some may have made it down. Listen to me making excuses already for why I'm going to see gold here when I shouldn't. Look at that. Not a speck. Perfect. That means the gold owl and gold hog mats are doing their job perfectly. Nothing made it to that bottom section. Not even one Oh! Here comes the doggy!
Permission to board, Captain.
Yes, of course!
Hello.
There's Sibo and...
Hi.
And Mike! Come to join me today. Now here's the material from the gold hog mats cleaned out. Now it's only like 1.5 foot of that stuff, so it's not very much. You'll see it's a much smaller amount than what was in the expanded steel. I'm going to pan that out and show you what's in it. Okay, here we are. I haven't looked yet to see. Oh my goodness. Absolutely nothing. I'm really hoping there's some good gold in that top mat. Oh, there's one microscopically tiny nothing piece. Another micro dot. Okay, so looks like the top mats are doing their job. That or I have no gold today. So I'm not putting the expanded steel and miner's moss back on the bottom, especially since there was no gold after the first half a pile was run. It looks like it's all being caught in the top, which is good. I have put it up top here though in my hopper. A little bit of an experiment, and also to stop the surging happening. So yeah, there we go. So I had moved the pump back down the river, but I had to move it back up here again because I started leaking through. But all is working well now. Don't like how muddy the water is when I'm recirculating, but oh well. The expanded steel up top with the miner's moss is working really well at regulating the speed of the stuff coming down. I quite like it. All is good. All is good. So I'm going to push the rest of this stuff through, then take a lunch break because I'm starving. I really like how it's going with this expanded steel in the hopper. I think this is going to be a permanent fixture for me. The sun has come out. It's a beautiful day. Warmed up nicely. Taking my jacket off. I don't need the gloves anymore. Oh, such a nice day. Wouldn't it be fun to find a big chunk of gold up in that stuff? Anyhow, we'll let that go for just a moment to rinse everything out. And unfortunately, recirculating muddy water, we're not going to be able to see the gold in the box very well.